Hi everyone, so today I have a quick project using the Rhinestone kit. So I am in Canvas Workspace for computer. Now you can use the online version for the Rhinestone function if you want. I'm just using the computer-based version and I want to create a simple heart rhinestone design. And what I'm going to do with these is I'm going to start putting little things like this, like stickers or rhinestone designs into my thank you packages. So as I say, I'm in Canvas Workspace for computer, and if you go to the rhinestone design, once you've bought the kit and you've activated it, as I say, you can use the computer-based or the online version, and this is what you'll see once you choose the rhinestone icon. So there's a full alphabet with numbers, and then there's some pre-made designs already for you that you can use. I want a simple heart, but I don't quite like this one. So basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to the shapes icon, and under the basic shapes, there is a heart, or there are three hearts actually, but these two are scallops. This is a plain heart. So let me just go over to the edit screen. So when this comes in, it comes in at 3.94 by 3.94. That's kind of like the default size that any of the basic shapes come onto your canvas mat once you choose them. So I'm going to make it about 1.75. So I'm just going to drag a corner, and I'm looking at the size over here on the right. I could highlight it and put it in, you know, it doesn't really matter. I'm just going to drag it down to about 1.75. There you go. That's my heart. I want to make this into a rhinestone design. I've got quite a lot of SS10 size hotfix rhinestones. If you can hear a noise in the background, it's Eddie. Every time I start talking, he thinks I'm on the phone, and whenever we go on the phone, he turns into like a naughty 2-year-old. So because I've started recording and talking, he thinks I'm on the phone. So he's pacing up and down here in my office, and now he's got one of his chewy bones that he's chewing frantically. So I'm sorry if you can hear that noise. Anyway, there's my heart, 1.75 inches. So now I'm going to go over to the rhinestone icon over on the right hand side. This lets me make any design of my own into a rhinestone, rather than this one over on the left, which is the preset rhinestone shapes. Okay, so I'm going to select that, and then it's going to bring up the rhinestones. So from here you can choose the size. So as I say, I've got an abundance of SS10, so that's what I'm going to make this little heart in. Then under where it says fill pattern, if you click on the drop down arrow, it's none by default, which basically just means, you know, the shape you've got on screen. You can outline it, you can fill it in a grid format or a contour or a circular. I have gone over this in previous videos. But for this one, I'm just going to choose outline. So straight away now, it's turned my basic 1 3/4 inch heart shape into a rhinestone design. So just to make it a little bit easier for you to see, I'm just going to fill it with colour on the screen. You don't have to do this. It doesn't affect how it cuts or anything. It's just, it might hopefully help you see it better on screen. So there's my heart shape. So all as I have to do with this now is save the design, send it over to my ScanNCut machine, and then I can cut it using the rhinestone media. Now the beauty of this is I cut this design once, but I can make an infinite number of rhinestone shapes using that one template. So my thinking is I'm going to cut it, and then I'm going to put the rhinestones in it, put the transfer tape on it, and put it back on a backing, and then I'll be able to pop them into my thank you envelopes. So somebody could put this on clothing or fabric or whatever they want to do, or you can even use the hotfix rhinestones on your cards or a scrapbook layout. So once they've got this with all the little rhinestones in it, they can then use it however they want to. So if you want to know how many stones, if you're getting low on a certain number of stones and you want to know how many stones are in a design, if you come over here where it says number of rhinestones, this little rhinestone count box opens. So it says the total number of each stone size in the selected object. So as I say, I chose SS10. So it's telling me this 30 and the total is 30 because I'm only doing this in one set of rhinestones. So I just know it's going to take 30 stones. As I say, I've got quite a lot of SS10 rhinestones. So I'm just going to say, okay. So from here, I'm just going to go File, and I'm going to go Export, Transfer the file. I'm going to send it over via Wi-Fi. Now, I don't know about anybody else. I'm recording this in December. You probably won't see this till maybe middle to end of January. But Canvas Workspace had an update done in November for the computer-based version. And to be honest, it's a bit buggy. So if you're trying to do an auto trace in the computer-based version, it doesn't work. It doesn't seem to work. There is a message when you log on to Canvas Workspace that tells you not to use the auto trace facility until they've sorted it out. But I've also found it's a little bit buggy when I'm transferring files. Sometimes it transfers them, sometimes it just hangs forever and I literally just have to force quit the program. Sometimes it transfers them but then crashes after it's transferred. So my suggestion to you is, if it's something that you've spent a lot of time making, I mean, this took me seconds to make. I'm not particularly all that bothered. But if it's something that you're bothered about, not losing, you've got options. You could either go File, Export File, and export the FCM file to your computer, and then put it on a USB stick and put it on your ScanNCut machine until this problem is fixed. Or you could export this to your computer and then open Canvas Workspace online, open this file and transfer it to your ScanNCut machine from the online version, because the online version doesn't crash. So just a couple of, little tips for you. So I'm going to send this over wirelessly. If it crashes and I lose it, I'll just create it again. But the next part of this video is that I'm going to retrieve this little file on the ScanNCut machine, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to cut it and how I'm going to, save it so that I can then, once I've got the rhinestones all in place, pop it in as little thank you gifts. So as I say, I'm just going to do transfer. See, now that one's gone. It says processing and it says it's gone and it's not crashed. So it may or may not be fixed. It may just be a fluke. Now, if you want to know where to get the rhinestone kit from, this is my website here, applelover53.co.uk. And if you see now, there is a ScanNCut shop, and underneath where cutting files is, which is where I sell all my cutting files for the ScanNCut that you can purchase, it now says machines and accessories, because you may or may not know that I now sell 3 different ScanNCut machines, and I think I've got most of the accessories on. So if you're under the All tab, which is the default page, you just have to scroll through and you'll find all the bits and pieces. But the rhinestone kit is under Other. So if you select Other, you'll see here we've got the printable stickers kit. Then we've got the rhinestone sheets and the transfer sheets. If you run out once you've bought your kit, you can buy the black cutting media separate and your transfer sheets, but this is the kit. So this is the starter kit, and this has got everything in it, which is what you'll see me use in the next part of the video. Okay, so that's where you can buy it from. You can pay for it on 3 interest-free payments if you want to. You can use Apple Pay, however you want to pay for it, but it is available on my website. So as I say, I'm just going to go over to my craft room now. I'm in my office at the moment, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to retrieve this file, how I'm going to cut it, put the rhinestones on it, and then how I'm going to just keep the little designs so that I can pop them into thank you packages for my customers. Okay, so I'll be with you in a few minutes when I'm in my craft room. Okay, so before we go to the ScanNCut machine, I just want to show you briefly the rhinestone kit. There may be a few things in here that are not, or that are duplicates, I should say, because I got the original kit, but then I also got a small kit when I got the Disney machine. But I think I've taken anything that's duplicate out. So it comes in this box. Everything is listed on my website, which you can see here in the bottom left of the screen. If you go there and click on the ScanNCut shop, and then it will bring up all the products, but you can filter. If you choose other, which is over on the left hand side, you should find the rhinestone kit, and it will tell you in the description everything that's included, because I've had mine years and I honestly can't remember how many of everything that you get. But basically you get this board, that's for putting your rhinestone template on to start putting your stones in. You get stones, I've got extra stones in here. They're called Hot Fix rhinestones, so you can just Google those. You can get them on eBay, Amazon, wherever, but you do get rhinestones with your kit, and I think you get a couple of different sizes. I've just added 2 over the years. This is the black template media that you make your templates from. Now again, I think they come in 12 by 12, but I've been chopping into mine, so I've just got them in a little A4 pouch. You get the green sheets, which are the transfer sheets which you can reuse. As I say, a lot of these are chopped into. You get a little instruction sheet, but again, on my website, on the ScanNCut shop, if you go to help and information, you'll probably find the rhinestone manual in there. You don't get this. This was one that came as an extra with my Disney machine, but as I said, you get the full size one, the 12 by 12. Once you've made your templates, obviously you can keep them. I just keep them in a plastic bag, and then once you've cut them, you can just reuse them. You get your little pickup tool to help you put any stray rhinestones into the holes if you need to, and you get the brush. As I say, I've got a few of these because I've got a couple of kits. So that's everything that you get. The size that I made the template in Canvas Workspace was SS10. So I'm going to pull some SS10 rhinestones out and use those. I'm just going to get a piece of the cutting media. I think this one might do. I made my template, I think it was about 1 3/4 inches from memory, so this, I'll just use this scrap. You can buy extras of the cutting media and the transfer sheets again on my website. They'll all be on that same page under the other, under filter. So you can, you know, once you've got your kit, if you use it a lot and you need more transfer tape and this black kind of felt media, you can buy those as extras. So I'm just going to put all these on one side for a minute, and say it all comes in this box. I've had mine years. My standard mat, and I'm just going to put this paper side down. I'm going to burnish it and then load this into the machine and retrieve the little heart design that I made in Canvas Workspace. So I'm going to go to retrieve data from Canvas Workspace, and it should bring up the heart. And there it is. I'm going to do a background scan so that I can position the design on the piece of media that I've just stuck kind of centrally-ish on my mat. So I'm just going to do a background scan and start. There will be other rhinestone videos on my YouTube channel. I've covered, you know, rhinestones several times in the past. So there's my design, there's my media. I'm just going to drag this over here. I can go into edit and I can use the directional arrows and just take it down a little bit more so it's a bit more central obviously this little piece on the end here I could reuse again for a, you know, a smaller design. I don't want to put it too near the edge. So that looks okay. Okay, okay, select and cut. Now I've just got my standard blade in the machine. Half cut is off. I'm going to turn that on because I don't want to cut through the paper backing. So I'm going to go into the wrench and I'm going to scroll down and put half cut on because I only want to cut through the black media, not the paper backing. And I'm going to say okay, but from memory, when we've done this in the past, I think we've cut it twice. And I think that way when you peel this black layer away to make the template for your rhinestone, it tends to leave the little black circles behind easier. So I'm going to press start. And it says a minute for cutting, so that could be a minute or it could be anything up to a minute. It just rounds it up, I think, to the nearest minute. It's pretty quick, and as you can hear, it's fairly silent. The SDX machines are a lot quieter than the old CM models. If you've not got ScanNCut and this is the first time you're finding me, I do actually sell the machines now on my website here, applelover53.co.uk, and I also sell the accessories for all machines, so the CM models and any of the Autoblade models. Okay, now that's done and it's probably cut through, but I am going to cut it a second time. So I'm going to say okay, select, cut and start. And because I've not removed the mat from the machine, it will just go over the circles again and just recut them all. Okay, so that's done. So I'm going to remove the whole thing from the mat. You can see it's not cut through. Okay, so I can see where the holes are now in this template. I'm not sure whether you'll be able to see them or not. So I'm just going to cut this excess piece off because, you know, that can be used again for another project. I know it's only small, but you never know, you might have something that you want to do with it. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to grab a corner of the black media and try and separate it from the paper backing. So I'm just going to grab a corner, and then if you hold the paper backing in one hand and then pull this off like you would a band-aid, and that leaves all the black circles behind. And that's because I cut it twice. So if I'd only have cut this once, it would have cut them, but sometimes they're a little bit difficult to get out. So you can see now I've got a perfect template and all those bits can be put on one side. I'm just going to bring my box back in and I'm going to use the lid and bring my whiteboard in. So what I'm going to do now, this is sticky obviously on the back. I'm going to stick this on my whiteboard. And when I say my whiteboard, I mean this piece of whiteboard that comes with the rhinestone kit. And it tells you here on the bottom, this side cannot be used. This has got no coating on it. This one's got a coating on it, which enables you to peel these on and off. And if you use your lid, it just helps you corral all your stones together. You could use the base, but obviously I've got all sorts of things in the base. So that's on there now and it's all rubbed down. So I'm going to bring in my SS10 stones, which was the size I set to cut this template, and I'm just going to dump them, or a pile of them, in the middle. And then this is where this comes in. So basically what you do now, you just move your little brush gently around in circles, and I think it's the static that helps them drop into place. got a few stray ones there. Now you could dump them on and keep going, but as I'm only missing a few here, you can see this is where the little pickup tool comes in. So I can pick this up and drop them into the hole. I'm going to pick another one up, drop that into there, and pick another one up, trying to get the ones that are face up, and pop that in there. So now I'm just going to brush all these other stones just to one side out of the way, and I've got all my stones in there. Now I'm going to get a piece of the transfer paper and separate it from the backing, and I'm just going to go straight down and holding it in with one hand, pressing down on the stones. And by keeping your hand on it, it's hopefully not going to move, and then just press over all your stones. And then I'm just going to lift up a corner and peel this up, and this brings all the stones with the transfer paper. And then I'm going to put this back onto this sheet, and that's going to get put in a clear plastic envelope with a little sticker on that says it's been made with the ScanNCut Rhinestone kit, and it's available at my website. And then the beauty of having the template is that I can just keep dumping stones on here, and I can make several of these, and I've got them on hand already packaged up, and as I say, they're going to go in thank you packages. And I'm just going to dump those stones into the tray. This doesn't come with the kit. This is an old Puzzles. I think this was with a Rhinestone kit that from when I used to have my Puzzles machine. So now I'm just going to open the bag, and this has got a little funnel on the end, and then I'm going to put those back in there, a couple of stray ones. Now there is a tray like this in my Stampin' Up shop. It's the Embossing Essentials kit, and it comes with like reverse tweezers and a embossing buddy and that kind of thing, and it comes with one of these trays. So if you do a lot of card making and you emboss, it might be worth getting the embossing kit to get the tray, and then you can use the tray with your rhinestones. So I'm just going to seal that one back up. I'm going to bring my board back in. I'm going to bring my stones in, and I've got some SS10 stones in pink and clear. So I'm just going to make another one. So again, just going to dump the stones on. Because you're using this box, everything's kind of all corralled, you know, in one place, and you just rub around, and the static, I think it is, you know, helps them to drop into the little circles. And when you think you've got most of them, I wouldn't waste your time trying to use this brush to get every single one in. I would just, you know, get the bulk of them in, and then because you've got all your stones in this box and they're all together, just position the last couple by hand. And then again, I'm just going to put them on one side. I'm going to bring in another piece of transfer tape, and I'm just cutting this off from the scraps that have been left from previous projects. And again, I'm just going to go straight down, I'm not going to touch it, I'm just going to hold it with one hand and press the stones. So the top of the stones, the pink colour of the stones, is sticking to this back of this plastic, which is sticky. Then I'm going to lift it up. Again, I'm just going to hold it and lift to make sure everything's come up. And there is another design, which I'm then going to put on here. And that's another little thank you project. So you've got the kind of goldy colour, not sure how well that's you're gonna see that under this big ring light I've got on. And then I've got the pinks. I'll try and take pictures of them for the thumbnail. And then this, now, let's get the little tray again. So I'm going to pick up the card with the stones in, pop them all in there, And it looks as though you're using loads, but you're not. And I think I said in Canvas Workspace, didn't I, that was it 30 stones this design took? Obviously this is a very simple design. You can make more complex ones and you'll use more stones, but you know, that's the beauty of having the rhinestone kit. These hot fix rhinestones you can pick up most places and they're relatively reasonably priced. So, you know, once you've got this basic kit, if you use the rhinestones that are in it, they're readily available on the market, you know, to replace. So now I'm going to get this. I'm going to get my scraper and I'm just going to scrape all these off and they can all go in the bin. And then I'm just going to lift up my template off this board, and because we use the shiny side of the board, this comes off nice and easily, and that can go back on there, and that can now go in my plastic bag with all my other templates to be used over and over again. And as I say, there are the rhinestone designs. So that's how easy it is to use the rhinestone kit. So there will be, as I say, other videos on my YouTube channel because I've done rhinestones lots of times in the past, so you can always go back and look at those. I think I even did a Sunday night live, so if you go to the playlist and look for the live playlist, you'll probably find a rhinestone project that I did, I don't know how long ago, years ago maybe. Anyway, that's it. So please give the video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. If you want the kit, as I say, go to applelover53.co.uk. Click on the ScanNCut shop tab, and then the first page that comes up is everything, every machine, accessory and everything that's loaded on there at the moment. But to make it easier to filter, on the left of that page it says filter by, and if you choose other you'll find the kit, and then you'll find the extras if you've already got a kit and you're running low on the black template media or the sticky sheets. Okay, so thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.